One NBA player's record is so embarrassing, it forced him to quit basketball. These are the most embarrassing records in NBA history. And James Harden didn't just set one embarrassing record. In one season, he embarrassed himself 6 times. A few years ago, Harden put the Rockets on his back and became one of the NBA's greatest scorers. But I swear, at the same time, dude went on a shooting slump that had his stat lines looking like tour dates. In 6 different games, Harden was shooting threes worse than Ben Simmons. But none of Harden's games were worse than his matchup against the Thunder. Even though his Rockets were literally up double digits, Harden still managed to cause one of the most embarrassing upsets in NBA history. Because he didn't just miss a few jump shots, this dude missed 16 3-pointers. Dude really shot 1 for 17. That's literally the most missed threes by a single player ever, and that season, dude did it 6 times. No wonder why he stayed after to practice a bit. But I mean, if there's any bright side to this record, at least Harden hit 1 3, because Brook Lopez wasn't so lucky. One night, he must have been partying with Harden at the club or something, because this dude really stepped out, put up 12 3-pointers, and made 0 for 12. My God, man. When they say shooters shoot, they don't mean shoot and miss every single one in a row. But listen, Harden and Lopez aren't the only players with embarrassing records. Chris Paul, Anthony Davis, and Ben Simmons all have records people are scared to talk about. Even the GOAT has a humiliating record, but his is impossible to beat. Now, most people think of LeBron like this. But all of his highlights are just covering up his most embarrassing record. It's taken nearly 2 decades to accomplish, but the more games LeBron plays, the worse his record gets. In the biggest games of LeBron's career, he's made this record untouchable. And at this point, LeBron's opponents don't even have to help him anymore. He's damn near making it happen by himself. Even though LeBron's known as one of the NBA's most efficient players, on the brink of making history, everything came down to a 4th quarter thriller. And LeBron saw the perfect opportunity.
LeBron stumbles, has it, throws it away!
With that pass, LeBron put himself on top of the record books, passing Karl Malone for the most turnovers in NBA history, 4,525. And what did LeBron say after this remarkable accomplishment? Well,
anytime I've been linked with some of the greats, I've always just been in awe.
To get to this point, LeBron had to average over 3 turnovers a game throughout his career. So when his boy Bronny hits the league, I'm sure he'll be right by his dad's side helping LeBron become the first player ever to hit 5,000 turnovers. But hey, Anthony Davis's embarrassing record came from one of the worst seasons in NBA history. AD stepped into the new season, damn near breaking his ankle, but when he opened Twitter and saw that 90% of people were hating on him, he instantly had a point to prove. Throughout the first 21 games of the season, AD scored over 24 points a night and shot 51%. Sounds like one of the best big men in the league, right? Well, low-key, those numbers were nothing but a cover-up. Cause AD's shot selection made the Lakers lose more than half of their games. And when I dug deeper, I found out what was really going on. See, something you might have noticed about AD, other than his glass bones, is that he loves taking jump shots, especially from mid-range. And I can't lie, most times I don't mind, cause it feels like he hits them. But this season, Jesus Christ, man. AD shot 38% from mid and 33% on jumpers overall. Both of those numbers were the worst in the entire NBA. But just hold on, AD's record gets even worse. Since his middies weren't hitting, AD decided to chuck up some threes. And this dude became the worst 3-point shooter in the history of mankind. That season, AD shot 16%. 16. I don't know if dude's unibrow got in the way or what, but I cannot comprehend how this man got paid $190 million to do that. This man ain't even worth a McChicken. And people were saying Russell Westbrook was the biggest problem on the Lakers. But speaking of teams, the Thunder set such an embarrassing record, they almost got kicked out of the NBA. When OKC landed in Memphis, news dropped that the Grizzlies star player Ja Morant was out for their matchup. So OKC had some hope, and in the first quarter, they kept it close. But in the second, things got disgusting. Cause the Thunder's defense got so bad, the Grizzlies started toying with them. And by the end of the first half, the Thunder were already down 36 points, 72-36. But alright, sometimes blowouts happen, and since it was obvious that the Thunder already lost, I thought the Grizzlies would be in the locker room cooling, watching hoop flicks. I mean, we all know how Ja gets back there, and ain't you trying to be like Ja? Subscribe! But for real, I also thought the Grizzlies would take it easy in the second half. But right when they stepped back on the court, on God, I never seen a team more on fire. Players I never even heard of were having the best games of their careers. And within minutes, the Grizzlies were already up over 50 points. But they kept going and going and going. Then in the fourth, the Grizzlies decided to hold their own dunk contest. What? This shit was embarrassing, man. I honestly felt bad for the Thunder, because they lost 152-79. The worst loss in NBA history. A 73-point L. Even NBA players couldn't believe what we just witnessed. Draymond Green really said the Grizzlies should be fined. And one NBA fan said the Thunder should get kicked out of the NBA. But listen, as embarrassing as that record is, at least the Thunder had the balls to get back out there. One NBA player's embarrassing record had him scared to shoot a basketball again. It's not a secret that Ben Simmons has one of the worst jump shots in history. I'm sure we've all seen the memes. But to this day, Simmons is still having nightmares about the 2021 playoffs. Because not only did he put up the worst numbers of his career, teams violated him so hard, they broke his jump shot and his mental. I mean, it got so bad, players purposely let him take wide open shots. And at that point, I knew Ben was about to set an embarrassing record. As time went on, teams made things even easier. They started fouling Simmons to purposely give him free throws. You know, a free shot. No dribbling, no passing, no jumping. Just a wide open shot. And game after game, Simmons kept missing and missing and missing. I mean, even he knew he was embarrassing himself and guaranteed he'd turn things around.
It's not gonna happen for that much longer, you know, I'm not young.
But in the end, he should have just said, hey guys, you know, I'm just doing this on purpose. I'm trying to set a record. Cause that's exactly what he did. Most times when a player's mentioned in the same breath as Shaq and Wilt Chamberlain, you know, two of the top 10 greatest players ever, it's probably a pretty impressive record. But this was the only time it was f***ing embarrassing. Throughout the playoffs, Simmons shot 73 free throws and made 25. That's 48 misses. 48! With 34% from the line, Ben Simmons broke the record for the worst free throw percentage in playoff history. And shooting that badly had his coach speechless. So Simmons went ghost for months. And ever since, he hasn't played in a single NBA game. Damn, who would have thought publicly embarrassing yourself could ruin an NBA career? What if I told you one NBA player's embarrassing record is actually the proudest moment of his life? In 2010, during a Celtics vs Clippers matchup, cameras were ready to witness history. The Clippers had just called up their secret weapon, James Curry, and tonight was his heavily anticipated debut. Right when Curry came out for shoot-around, he had a feeling that this wasn't going to be an ordinary game. He knew that as soon as he touched the floor, he was setting a record. And even though he started this game on the bench, he cheered on his teammates until the second half when he finally got his opportunity. With 3.9 seconds left in the quarter, James Curry was subbed in. And even though he was tasked with defending Rajon Rondo, Curry was ready.
Seconds left in the third quarter, Curry substituted for Chris Kaman, which marked Curry's first ever appearance in an NBA regular season game.
There, did you see it? That right there is one of the most legendary possessions in NBA history. Over 3 seconds of greatness. James did it, man. He broke one of the most iconic records the NBA world's ever seen. 3.9 seconds. The shortest NBA career ever. Yeah. James never played a single second ever again. But in the end, he was just happy for the opportunity.
It feels great. You know, now even dressing out for a game, even to get that chance, to be ready, call my number, jump off that bench, loose at all times.
Look at Curry, man. So inspirational. Wait, wrong Curry. Cause Stephen Curry's record ain't embarrassing at all. It's unbreakable. And even though LeBron was in this video, he set an even more impossible record. And I know you want to hear more about that, so just click this video right here.